Now, I feel like I would be doing a disservice if I never mentioned the Infinity Pistol in this Borderlands Retrospective series, so that's what today's video is going to be covering. The very, very controversial history of the Infinity Pistol, and a little bit of my personal opinions thrown in here. I just want to go over why the Infinity is so overhated or overloved by some people in the community, and show you guys some cool things about it you may not have known about. Now, before I get too deep into this video, I do want to mention I will be referring to the Borderlands 2 Infinity Pistol, but I will make some more references towards the Borderlands 3 version later on, but I'm mainly talking about the Borderlands 2 variant here. The Infinity Pistol wasn't the first Infinity Pistol within the Borderlands series, it was actually the Dove from Borderlands 1, with the red text saying, "Sometimes I forgot to reload." This was a doll pistol that never reloaded. Same exact effects as the Infinity Pistol, but it did not have the figure 8 style pattern, which made it a lot more usable in my opinion. Now, this was obtained from a reward within Borderlands 1 by the quest of Alter Ego Godless Monsters. This was also a rare drop from Slither, which was one of the bosses within Borderlands 1. If you guys remember, he is a little tiny synthid. I think that's what they were called. They had the little pincers and they made the like screeching noises. You probably know what I'm talking about. I'll put a picture of him on screen as well. And yeah, that's how you can get that. And it was basically the original Infinity Pistol, if you guys did not know. Now, going forward into the actual Infinity Pistol, it actually has a movie reference. The red text of the Infinity saying, "It's closer than you think." Now, this is actually a Stephen King reference to the short story The Jaunt, where the actual quote is, "It's longer than you think." In the short story, the subject of teleportation is basically talked about with eternity in the conscious mind, thus the connection of the term infinity, driving its subjects to insanity or instant death. That is a description that the wiki wants to say. I didn't know that personally. I'm a big fan of Stephen King. I just didn't know about The Jaunt, to be honest. Another cool fun fact, if you guys did buy the diamond plate loot chests within the Borderlands 2, there is a shift code and a little card, and on the card, the caption reads, "How did Vladoff manage to make a gun that could fire bullets infinitely? Easy. They used, like, vault juice or something." Shut up. A little funny tidbit, if you bought the diamond loot chest, you got to see that cool little flavor text. Now, to even obtain the Infinity Pistol within Borderlands 2, you need to go kill Doc Mercy over in Three Horns Valley. You probably know about the infamous spot of going to kill him. And just like the weapon states, the Infinity Pistol, well, shoots forever. The Infinity Pistol will never consume ammo and it has a mag size of 1, but I do want to mention that the Infinity Pistol is not the only type of pistol within its class. We do have the Stalker, which is a pearlescent Vladoff pistol as well, and even more similar to it, we have the Stinger, which is a Seraph weapon. Now, arguably, the Stinger pistol is a lot better than the Infinity in a lot of aspects. Now, I'm going to scale these weapons based on OP8 level 72 before the Commander Lilith DLC, because in my personal opinion, I just believe that OP10 was an unbalanced mess and not a great comparison. But if we compare the Stinger pistol to the Infinity pistol, we can see even if they both have the fire elements, the Stinger is just outclassing it in many different ways. Maybe not so much in the fire rate category, as they're pretty much the same. Reload speed is minute on the Infinity, but there's one key thing that the Stinger has over the Infinity, which is the ×2. The Stinger is very good in that aspect, and it allows it to get an element just like the Infinity. Now, I want to mention the ×2 prefix on the Infinity is kind of possible, but it's kind of not. Let me explain. Now, this is going off of Reddit posts and the wiki, so if anything's wrong here, I do apologize, but digging for this information isn't always easy. Now, with most Vladoff pistols in the game, we all know that the Diva prefix means ×2, but with the Infinity Pistol, it just means that it has a 1 in 4 chance of generating a second bullet when fired. So it's technically a 25% chance to proc a second bullet. That's what I'm getting here because some people did some testing and the wiki itself also says this. So it's not like the Diva prefix will make the Infinity Pistol a ×2 firing machine. So in my opinion, I still think the Stinger is a little bit better. Another advantage that the Stinger pistol has is it does not fire in a figure 8 pattern. And what do I mean by this? If you did not know, the Infinity Pistol shoots in, well, a infinity pattern, which is a basically figure 8 but long ways, and this makes it kind of annoying to hit headshots on a lot of bosses. So if you're at range, you are going to have a hard time hitting every pellet, which means your DPS is going to be hindered. But with a Stinger, on the other hand, those bullets go where you're pointing them. Yes, you have to reload. Yes, you're using ammo, but you know, that's kind of the point of Borderlands. So, in my opinion, I think the Stinger just outclasses the Infinity in many different ways, but not to say the Infinity is entirely useless. Is it one of the best weapons in the game? No. Is it one of the worst weapons in the game? I also think no as well, because the Infinity definitely has its uses on certain characters and certain builds. But now the Infinity Pistol also made an appearance within Borderlands 3. Now the Borderlands 3 Infinity Pistol was a big step up from Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 1 in my opinion, because this one was just a lot easier to use. Yes, it still had the figure 8 pattern, but Borderlands 3 had a lot better build diversity, anointments existed, so it made this a lot more viable. So maybe the gun wasn't actually good, maybe Borderlands 3 was just a lot more balanced and made the gun shine a little bit brighter. Unfortunately, the Infinity in Borderlands 3 just dropped wherever the hell it wanted to drop from, and it's not very different from the Borderlands 2 variants in terms of its usability and cool little things it has going for it. But when we go into Borderlands, the pre-sequel, yes, the Infinity Pistol was theoretically within the pre-sequel, and it goes by the name of the Proletarian Revolution. Now, this gun is basically the Infinity equivalent of the pre-sequel, where it drops from the Claptastic Voyage DLC, and this effect of the weapon is constantly increases its mag size and its fire rate over time. And this is infinite. You could get every single bullet possible in your ammo pool into the clip of this weapon. So it's kind of the Infinity Pistol, but it's kind of not. I think it's a little bit cooler than the Infinity because you can reload if you want to for certain skills or just because it's an impulse at this point. But let's go into the meat and potatoes. What about the controversy of all these Infinity Pistols within the series? Now, I went over to Reddit and some YouTube comments to see what other people thought, and a lot of people, they like to see it more as a novelty weapon. They love to see the fire rate, but a lot of people are just bored of the playstyle of holding down your trigger infinitely without really thinking about it, and that's fully understandable on how the Infinity is played that way. Some people enjoy the fact they don't have to worry about ammo, some people hate the fact that they don't have to think too much, and based on the type of player you are, I could see where the debate starts with that. I want to know what you guys think. I'm not trying to fish for interactions here, I'm just genuinely curious because there's not a lot of information out there on people's opinions on the Infinity. Do you find the Infinity's playstyle boring, or do you find it's enjoyable to a certain degree with certain characters? Like, do you have fun with the Infinity or do you just hate it? Let me know in the comments. So this weapon could definitely be used as a boring gun, and in my opinion, I think it is a little monotonous just spamming and spamming your gun over and over again. But I will say, when you're using Zero uses this gun very well, and probably the only Vault Hunter in the game where I would subjectively use this gun. I did make an Infinity Pistol flak build on the flip side of things, but like I said, I don't want to bring up the Borderlands 3 Infinity too much because it is a lot better scaled, because Borderlands 3 is a lot better scaled than Borderlands 2 was. If anything, with the Infinity, to make it a little bit more usable, they could have gave it more base fire rate. That's why if you look back into Borderlands 2, the Vault Hunters that utilize the Infinity best were the ones that can improve its fire rate, like Axon with certain class mods, Zero, Salvador, and some gauges will use the Infinity just because Anarchy exists and the abilities I previously mentioned. But at the end of the day, the Infinity Pistol also holds a special place in my nostalgic brain because this gun just instantly brings back memories of me going onto that geyser and killing Doc Mercy 100 times to finally get it to drop, because Borderlands 2 drop rates were abysmal when the game first came out, and it was like 3%, I think it was 3%, and then they further buffed it to 10% later on. Now, if you did not know, the Infinity Pistol only used to drop in normal mode, which made it useless and basically impossible to get for the first year in Borderlands, because in True Vault Hunter mode, it just wouldn't drop for some reason. Luckily, they fixed that on November 26, 2013, and gave it the ability to drop on True Vault Hunter mode and higher, but it was pain. But when you finally got it to drop, it was so exciting, you know, my young mind getting it. But that's it, guys. That's the story of how the Infinity Pistol translated throughout the entire Borderlands series, how the community's response to it was, and how people seen it as a boring weapon or just a fun weapon with certain builds. At the end of the day, I still think it's a great novelty piece, and I don't think it's very, very great on a lot of builds, and it's outclassed by many, many different pistols. If you guys did enjoy today's video, it does mean a lot if you hit the like button down below, as it spreads my Borderlands content more out to the Borderlands community. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss out on another video from me. But you guys have a terrific day, stay safe, and I'll see you all later.